So when you do sit out in nature and you're contemplating whether you will be able to do it or not, also ask yourself, are you running away from something or are you running towards something? And that's also a profound insight, because running away from, you most probably take your problems with you, whilst if you're running towards something, it's a whole different proposition. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Quality of Life Quest. My name is Anneke. I sat in nature, imagining what it would be like if it was just nature and me. What would it be like? If I depended on nature alone, would I survive? There's this fantasy about a simpler life, but have you ever tested that? So I sat in nature for a while and let my mind wander, as you do. And would I be up to the task to survive in nature? And the first thought was, well, is this a survival situation or is this a long-term situation? Because those are two very different scenarios. So if it's a survival situation, you first have to check your own safety. If it is at all possible, stop life-threatening situations. And then it's about shelter, water and food. And of course, how long is this scenario going to play out? That's quite important as well. And I think most people like to think they can survive for a day or two or, maybe 3. I don't know. Let's hope I never have to test it. But I think I could. Immediately after that, what came to mind was, yeah, but Great Britain is kind of a safe place. Safe as in, sure, you can put yourself in very dangerous situations in nature in Great Britain. That's very well possible. Yeah, I've met a man who fell down Ben Nevis. He was still alive, but was missing a couple of body parts because he did so in winter and several body parts got frozen and had to be amputated. So, yes, you can put yourself in dangerous situations. But on the whole, if your car was to, get off the road and in a remote part of Great Britain, would you be able to survive? Would you be able to know what to do? And despite not being an expert, I think that on the whole, I would be able to survive at least, for a day or so. So the thought that came to mind was that Great Britain is quite safe. As I said, you can put yourself in dangerous situations. And I'm on the whole not that kind of person. I don't necessarily want to climb mountains and hang off cliff sides and do that kind of thing. For me, life's too short and I'd prefer to sit in a comfortable chair reading a book or doing some knitting in my spare time. And yeah, cliff faces, no, thank you. So I don't willingly go out and put myself into dangerous situations. So if you don't do that, then on the whole, Great Britain is quite a safe place to be in nature. There are very few animals that are trying to kill you. Yes, there are adders, and I've met a couple when we lived in Norfolk, and a couple of houses back, we had adders living. Well, I don't know if they were living in the compost heap, but that's where I met them, and I find them a bit unsettling. So, yeah, I didn't particularly like them. They're said to be shy and don't really want human interaction. But there you go, we've got adders and they are poisonous. And if you live in an area where there's wild boar, you don't really want to mess with them either. I'm sure there will be people going in the comments, oh yes, but we've got this, that and the other in Great Britain as well, and those animals are dangerous and wouldn't help in a survival situation. Having said that, if you can kill a boar, that's meat. That's proper meat. But on the whole, Great Britain is a safe place, as opposed to Australia, where I've never been, But legend has it that everything there wants to kill you. And I've seen some pictures of really dangerous animals who are well camouflaged. And I wouldn't even know it if if I bumped into them, that they were there, let alone that they would be able to attack me and kill me. So yeah, geography matters. Where are you on the face of the earth? If you can survive, yes or no. I think I could in Great Britain for a little bit. There are, of course, plants that are poisonous and deadly. Deadly Nightshade is one of them. The other one is Foxglove. There you go, Foxglove. They are deadly. Valerian is deadly if you take the wrong dose. And the list goes on from upsetting your stomach to giving you all sorts of nasty side effects all the way up to death. So even though the animal kingdom may not necessarily want to kill you, in Great Britain, there are definitely plants you should stay away from unless you know what you're doing. But what about long term? Would I be able to survive long term if it was just me and nature? And the answer to that is no. I wouldn't be able to. I was born and raised in the countryside in the Netherlands. The time I lived in Great Britain, a lot of it was spent in the countryside as well. And I can do things. I can grow a garden. I can, raise some animals, butcher them and have them meat. But that all takes time. That's not survival. By then you get into the realm of a small holding or a homestead, as they say in the United States. I would love that. And I think I could get very far. However, my skills are many, but not all. And I know I would need help. I would need input from other people. So long term, you still need the same things. You still need to think about your own safety, shelter, water, and food. I really, really want to live that life. I'm not there yet. I will get there. I'm not there yet. The first step is missing: land. So I'm pursuing that. But when you live from nature on your own piece of land, very, very few people manage to create a house out of the materials they find on the land. Sure, if you live in a heavily wooded area, then you can build a log cabin, which it would be nice if you had help there. There's a guy on the internet. He was very young when he started. I think he lives in Norway or Sweden or somewhere like that. And he built a log cabin all by himself, which I think is amazing. And he still needed tools. So you need some sort of axe to chop down trees, and then you need a tool to take the bark off and flatten a bit. But he used moss to put in between the logs for it's kind of isolation, because it's difficult to make the two logs meet. And yeah, it was quite amazing. He filmed it and put it on the internet, and I really enjoyed watching him do that. It takes a lot, and you need tools. So, that's the first thing. Where do you get your tools from? There are people who live in houses made out of reed and they float on the surface. I think it's somewhere Middle or South America, somewhere around there. That's a huge area, but that's possible. But in modern settings, even if I go around here, the area where I live, Herefordshire, even when I look in this neighborhood, the traditional build of oak-framed buildings, it's beautiful. Traditionally, they were filled in with wattle and daub, so they are sticks, and then other bits of wood got woven into it, and then it got plastered with some sort of clay with either horsehair or straw or something in it. Anyway, it's possible to do that. It's possible to create a building out of stone. All of that requires cooperation of more people. To do that by yourself, it takes forever and a day. And by then you've missed your window of opportunity to grow your garden. Or if you try to do it in winter, where do you survive that winter? It all becomes a little bit complicated. What are the thoughts you overthink? at 2 a.m.? What are the conversations you rehearse but never have? What are the feelings you minimize? Growth begins when you stop pretending that you are fine. Go to thequalityoflife.quest and book a one-to-one session. See you on the other side. So if I were to live from nature, as much from nature as possible, I would still want a house, some sort of house, whether it's an oak frame house, a stone house, a wooden house, I don't care. I would like to have a house to live in, preferably with some plumbing inside. That would be nice. And I would love to have my things around me. I would love to have my books. I would love to have the possibility to cook, to preserve the food I grow. It may be a simple life, but it's also hard work. And I know that. I've grown up on a small holding. I know that. You would still need water to drink. And even though you can make a filter and you can then boil the water, it's nice if it comes out of a borehole and is fresh to drink. That it's like spring water. Well, a spring is technically different from a borehole, but you know what I mean, to get water which you can drink as is. And since I would like more variety to eat during winter and early spring, I would like to preserve my food. I just said already that I would like to preserve my food, but that's the reason why. In Great Britain, you can't just have a garden year round and expect to eat from it. You either need a greenhouse to extend the season on both ends, so you're able to start off your vegetables early and you are able to harvest longer into the late season. There's still this hunger gap where you would like to eat some variety other than, parsnips and cabbages and potatoes. So the possibility to preserve food would be nice. And so after the first realization of, where on the world do I get stranded? And I'm in Great Britain, so let's assume I'm stranded in Great Britain. Then what do I need for long-term survival? I can do a lot of things, and I would still need to be part of a bigger group of people to supplement the skills I don't have, or the strength I don't have, or the insights I don't have. So I can't do it alone. So have you ever sat in nature and let your mind wander like so? Have you ever thought about going back to nature, going back to your roots? And if you would be able to do so, what came up? Drop it in the comments, because I would really genuinely like to know what came up for you. It's interesting where people think they're going to get stuck. And then, of course, the situation arises where they actually get stuck, because I'm not that far yet. As I said, the current holdup is land. Once I've got land, I need to put in the infrastructure. Once I've put in the infrastructure, I need to put up some buildings. And once I've put up some buildings, only then can I start to cultivate the land. Because if you've ever built a house or any structure at all, you know that the surrounding area becomes a quagmire. It's not good to do any planting around the house. You just can't. You can't plant around the house when they're building it. It takes time. I have tried to speed up the process, and I've grown lots of things in pots further away from the building side. But that takes a lot of time and effort, and that's just, for me, not necessarily the way to go about it. Having said that, if the land appears today, it would still take me several months to get that far, and I think my fingers would start itching. I would want to start on my garden right there, right then. So I think my enthusiasm will take priority over the rational part of my brain, and I will start growing things. But there you go. So when you do sit out in nature and you're contemplating whether you will be able to do it or not, also ask yourself, are you running away from something, or are you running towards something? And that's also a profound insight, because running away from, you most probably take your problems with you, whilst if you're running towards something, it's a whole different proposition. For me, at this moment in time, I would be running towards something. I would run away from rented, that's for sure. I would really, really, really like to own my land. But I've been wanting to put down roots for a very long time now, and it hasn't happened for many, many, many years. I've been looking in Mid-Wales, I've been looking in Norfolk, and now I've been looking in Herefordshire for many years. And to find that piece of land that really speaks to me and where I feel at home, at times at a price I can afford and that's accessible, because you want to be able to get in and out of it. I remember we saw a property once and the access was so terrible you wouldn't be able to renovate it, not without a lot of trouble on the way. It would have to be done, most of the materials would have to be hauled towards the house by hand. We've seen properties without access at all, so the road is here and the house is there, and there's maybe a 200-meter gap of nothing. So the people who lived there definitely lived off the land by themselves, very isolated. So they managed to do it. I think for modern day life, even though I would love it, there are some things I still need to do. I would love to live like a hermit. Sign me up right now. Would it be an ideal lifestyle? It would be very, very close. I'd be happy within myself. I'd be happy with my own company. And that's another thing. Are you happy in your own company? Because if you're not, then some things might have to change, and living in nature would make that clear very, very quickly. So why am I not living like a hermit at this moment in time? Because I think there are some things I still need to do in this world, which kind of assumes that there will be a time when I will be a hermit, and goodness knows, maybe I'll get there one day. But on the whole, I think there are some things I need to do. There are some people I still need to meet. I don't know who they are. They will appear at some point in time. But yeah, there's stuff I need to do. So being a hermit is not on the cards right now. So yeah, try it out. Go sit in nature for a couple of hours. Whether it rains or shines, it doesn't matter. I think it's the 18th of March when I record this, 2026. And the sun is shining. It's amazing. It's lovely outside. And here I am inside recording a podcast. I have been in the sun already. But that, we've had so much rain. And what do you do when you're stranded? What would you do if you are dependent on nature, and even if you have a house and some modern amenities? What would you do if you depended on the land? Is there a space for you to start growing things? Are there some projects out there that you can do inside, out of the rain? Are there things you can still learn without going into the rain? Because there will be times when you really, really have to go into the rain and into bad weather. But you do want to avoid it if you can. Having said that, I don't mind the rain as long as I can get back inside afterwards and put on some dry clothes. But yeah, go sit in nature. No phone, no distractions, just you, a notebook and a pen. And whatever comes up, write it down and let me know what you discovered. I really would like to know what you discover about yourself, about the situation you find yourself in right now. And what's the difference between your current situation and what it would be like for you to live in nature? So there you are, sitting in nature, surviving. If you like this kind of content and you would like to follow me along, whenever I find my land, I'll let you know. And when I put in the infrastructure and the buildings and the garden, I will let you know as well. But yeah, if you like this kind of content, please like, subscribe and share. In the meantime, I will keep on doing what I'm doing, which is study, making podcasts and work. And one of the things I do as work is one-to-one sessions. So if you want to have a chat and, find a sounding board, or would like to see if there are other perspectives on your life, feel free to book a chat, and I'll see you then. Right, that's it for this time. May the road rise up to meet you. Until next time, see you. Bye.